this No Man's Sky. I'm Diamant. Welcome to episode 12 of our Fresh Start playthrough. This is going to be the conclusion of Season 1. What we want to finish up with is the end of the MSQ. So by the end of this episode, we're going to take that final step, and when you finish the MSQ in No Man's Sky, and again, I probably won't do any real spoilers. It's a neat little narrative, so I'll let you guys experience that on your own, but when you finish it, what it's going to do is warp you onto another galaxy. So we're going to pick which galaxy we want to go to, and we're going to pick up Season 2 from the new galaxy, because that kind of pushes us into, I don't know, what I would consider the mid-game. Last episode, we finished up our base. We got everything powered on. Oh, looks like night's falling, maybe? Well, anyway, we got everything powered on. We got our greenhouses built. Essentially, we've got our basic setup completed. So we can always come back to here to gain resources or access our storage. So we have a nice little base of operations that we can always come back to in the starter galaxy. To give us supplies, give us, you know, crops, anything that we're gonna need, we're gonna be able to come back here. So anyway, so I've gotten probably, I think 11 out of the 12, no, 10 out of the 12 greenhouses filled at this point. They're not all complete, so what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the crops to harvest, then I harvest it, and I use those crops to plant new ones. So most of these are almost finished, like this one right here has about 5 left. Once that's completed, everything that you can grow, which I believe there's 12 in total, everything that you can grow will be growing. So we won't have to stop and harvest things at planets as we go along. It's just one of the steps that'll be taken care of for us. So we're fine on the ground. What we're gonna need next is to get our freighter taken care of, because that's what we're gonna be using as we warp from system to system in our new galaxy. So we're gonna head up to the freighter now and see what we need to complete there. Now it's gonna take us probably quite a bit of time to get this freighter completely upgraded. Like, you'll notice there's a lot of inventory slots we can get and a lot of technology we're able to install. You need certain components for this though, and they're actually hard to get. Like, we're gonna need to hit a lot of derelict freighters before we're gonna be able to. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. Should be this console here. Yeah, here it is. So salvage frigate modules. I think we probably have 3 of these right now, and it's gonna take quite a few. Like, this one's 4, this one's 5. This is really nice because this lets you actually store things in your freighter and then access that storage from the planet as long as you have the freighter in orbit, which is absolutely incredible. But that's gonna take 5 salvage frigate modules, and again, in this entire playthrough so far we've gotten 3, so that'll be something we work on in Season 2. And then these are all of your warp drives so that we can actually send our freighter to different types of systems. But you're gonna notice these cost a ton. I mean, that one's 12, that one's 8, that one's 12. So we're probably gonna need like 50 of these things in order to get all of the basic upgrades. And then there's still more things, like all of the rooms and such, that we can add. So the freighter is gonna be more of a long-term project. That used to be a lot easier to do this, but nowadays they've kind of bottlenecked it. But the one thing I do wanna do, we've got all of our control rooms here so that we can, our fleet command stations here so that we're able to run missions out of them, which actually looks like I need a new round of missions as well. But we also don't have our storage built. Now, we don't have tons of the upgrades, but when we opened up all of the storage units for the regular base, it actually opened them up for the freighter as well. So we're gonna get all of our storage units built on this freighter so that we can easily access it. So as cute as this thing is, it's gonna need to go away. Yep, sorry guy. All right, so what we're gonna build is a nice little hallway. So I don't need a refiner room. Essentially, we're gonna be branching off from this main hallway. We're gonna keep the control rooms over here. We might keep this installed for now, because it gives us a little bit of cash and a little bit of carbon, but I think eventually this is all gonna go away. But for now, we can build a hallway off to the side here, so when we warp back up to the bridge, it's pretty easy. I can just come here, take a quick left, go up the steps, and we've got access to all of our storage. So let's get that started right now. So we're just building a corridor. Maybe 2 in, there we go. And then we're gonna need some steps. And this is probably gonna make me look like a fool. Well, there's no steps. There has to be steps. We must have to open that up as an upgrade. Let me take a look here. Rooms, rooms, rooms. Oh, there we go, stairs. Okay, that's our steps right here. All right, luckily we've got 3 of these salvage frigate modules we've gotten from crashed freighters on the surface. So that's a good way to get them early on.
Item received.
Let's get our steps. What I tend to do is put things that I'm not actually gonna physically go to on other floors, either up or down. Something like your storage units, you're just gonna access from here. So I don't tend to actually, let's build a corridor in this direction. And then let's put our stairs here. So we're gonna go up a flight. There we go. Wouldn't let us do it because, well, I don't really know why. All right, so we're building it now. So now what we're gonna want, now that we've got a nice little corridor here that we can go up to. So if we ever actually need to physically go to our storage, we've got access here, and then I can continue the base in that direction. So it's a little bit out of the way. So what we'll do now is just a long hallway with the storage units on either side. So we're probably gonna need like 5 of these total. You can see the exterior there. There's exterior rooms we can build. Like if I put a glass corridor here, if you look, you're gonna be able to see out into space. We're not gonna do that right now, but when we start to kind of pretty this place up, then we'll end up doing that. But for now, let's get our storage built. All right, and it's really that simple. These are our 10 storage units. Now, I renamed them on the other base, on our main base, so even numbers here, odd numbers on that side, we should, when we go over to our freighter, now, and I would recommend this initially, now you won't be able to see it because I've already done this, but there's a much longer name to this. I forget what these things are called, so all I did is I went through and renamed every single one of these, and you can do that right from here. Go up to there and then rename it. Just rename it with a number. It's gonna make it a hell of a lot easier to access because now when you go to your freighter menu, they're just gonna be lined up right here, 0 through 9. Now, whether you're on a base or in the freighter, you're gonna be able to access all of the stuff that you've got in storage, and it just makes life that much easier. The next thing we're gonna need to do is, before we move on to the next galaxy, is upgrade our hard drive. So right now, the ship has, as I was talking about in the previous episode, we have a cadmium drive, so we can go to red stellar bodies. What you're actually gonna need are some of the more rare resources from each of these different types of stars in order to upgrade your hyperdrive. We technically have these already. When you do freighter missions, it's gonna give you all of these resources, but we'll do it the correct way just to have done it. Like I have, you're gonna need emerald, you're gonna need cadmium, and you're gonna need indium, which we already have. And I'll show you where to get those upgrades. All right, so we're back at the anomaly. Ooh, that's a nice looking ship. Oh, look at that. Anyway, back on track. So we're gonna head back, we're back at the anomaly, and what we're gonna do is make a quick stop over at the Starship upgrade person, I know you remember their name, and we're gonna pick up a couple of hyperdrive upgrades. It's going to be this fella right here. And what we're gonna need is all of these. Since we've gotten a ton of nanites because of our nanite farm, we're good to go there. But we're gonna need the emerald drive. And the indium drive. The indium drive is what we're really after. Once we have this, we can actually warp to any type of planet that we want. Alright, so we're gonna look at our galactic map. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is head to a red star, which would be one of these guys right here. Because we should be seeing, basically we've got red, and then we've got green, and then we've got blue. Let's head to a red star. Alright, so this planet should be, it looks like volcanic, but it has cadmium. Cadmium is gonna be what we need for the first upgrade. So if you don't have those resources already, all you're gonna be doing, and where are we at? Oh, this place is a disaster. Oh, look at this. A little Mustafar going on here. But anyway, we're gonna need to, let's go ahead and find a spot to land, and we're gonna find a cadmium deposit. And all you'd end up doing is stair-stepping. So we're gonna get some cadmium, that'll give us the first upgrade, then we'll warp to the next classification of star, and we'll grab the next one. Alright, this looks like a relatively small one, but it should, we'll shrink the laser, it should give us enough to build the drive, but we'll find out as soon as I recharge it. Ah, you gotta be kidding me. So we need one more cadmium. That's a ripoff. Alright, let's find another one. There we go. This is a much bigger deposit. Okay, so that was a much bigger deposit. Yeah, there we go. That gave us probably about 1,500 just from that one. Okay, where is our ship? There it is. So now what we do, you're gonna need a bunch of wiring looms. So each one of these upgrades takes a wiring loom. So now what we're doing is we have the emerald drive. It lets you go to every prior type of system too. So this cadmium drive, there's no reason to have it, and it's just gonna occupy extra space where we can fit more technology. So we can get rid of this and then put it right there. So now we have an emerald drive, and that gave us some wiring looms and a few other resources back. So that's done. The next thing we're gonna do is install an indium drive. We've got the wiring looms, most of which we got from getting rid of the first drive. So get yourself maybe about 10 or 20 wiring looms before you start doing this. But anyway, let's head to the next type of system. We should have to go to a green star. Which there's one right over here. That was one of these odd planets as well. But you'll notice, this planet, now planets in these types of systems will have emerald, which is the next one that you're gonna need. Okay, that was a massive deposit there. Let me see what we ended up with there. 2,000. It's one of the larger deposits I've ever seen. All right, so we have plenty of emerald. So let's head back to let's head over to the ship here. Jeez, the deposit was large enough that I couldn't actually get stuff off of my ship from the other side of it. That's kind of cool. So, all right, so we'll save it. Let's have a look. I think, God, there's more deposits over there. But anyway, that's gonna be, it's good to have a decent little stack of some of these resources. Like we've got almost 1,500 cadmium, we've got about 2,000 emerald. You're gonna need these resources for other things. They're valuable from a money standpoint, but there are several upgrades, like some for the freighter, things like that are gonna need these resources, so it's good to just have them. As far as the ship goes, let's see. Yeah, so that's it. So now we have the indium drive. So now we can get rid of this. And put that back here. And it frees up all, we still have plenty of space. All right, so that gives us an indium drive. That's the final upgrade for the hard drive, other than extending range and such. So now we can actually go to any star that we want. So while we're at it, let's head over to a blue star. And we've got a blue star right next to us. There we go, just like that. We found a planet with indium.
Now protection deployed.
All right, not too bad. Not quite as big as the emerald deposit we had a second ago, but let's see what that gives us. Yeah, that's not bad. So 800 indium. All right, so we're in great shape. So these are 3 of the most valuable resources that you're gonna find in the game, and we've got a decent little stockpile. And as we go, we'll let's get things recharged here. That was kind of a waste. But anyway, as we go, you'll notice in Season 2, we're gonna find better ways to collect these resources. We're gonna start mining them straight from the planet so that we don't have to do that anymore. But we've taken that step, so that's out of the way. Now we're gonna have the resources we need when it comes to actually upgrading. So for now, we're in great shape. We've got a decent starship, we've got a decent multi-tool, we've got a good freighter that's fully upgraded. We are ready to go as far as the MSQ. Let's head back to our main base. And from there, I think we're gonna close things out for the MSQ and for Season 1. Now, what I've done off camera is complete the main story narrative. I'd recommend everybody do it. It's a neat little story. There's no like combat. You're not, the way No Man's Sky works as far as the story quest goes, you're not building up to boss fights or fighting through dungeons or anything like that. All of the story stuff is gonna be just narrative driven. So I definitely recommend it. It's not great to put it into a YouTube video because you're really just reading dialogue, but it's kind of entertaining to do on your own. But I've completed that, so we are ready to go. The very last quest on the MSQ pathway is called The Purge, which you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner. It leads you to a gateway, and when we jump through the gateway or the portal, we're gonna have to choose what galaxy we wanna go to next. So I've got it marked. Let's head over there now, and we'll finish up the main story. Okay, and this is it. This is your portal. Now, most systems are gonna have one of these. They all have their own unique address. This one got tagged by the MSQ. This will actually take us to our next galaxy. Now, what we're gonna do first, and just fair warning for you guys when you're finishing this, when you get to your destination at the end of this quest, it's going to damage your equipment. You're gonna wind up on a new world with all of your stuff broken, which you're gonna have to fix. So the very first thing you're gonna wanna do, you can either take all of your stuff off of the starship and off your multi-tool, or you can switch to one of your spares. So in this case, and I think it's only fitting, we're gonna bring in our, where did it go? Our starter ship. And we're gonna switch to it. So now when we get to the next planet, we're not gonna have to worry about recovering or fixing most of this stuff. We're gonna take everything off. You can't repair, or excuse me, you can't remove a lot of the core stuff, like your launch thrusters and your engines and thing, but you can remove everything else. So we're gonna do that now. Alright, so that takes care of the ship. These are ones, I can't remove any of these. It only lets me move them. Okay, so these are like core ones. I don't know why it doesn't let me do... I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but yeah, it won't let me remove this one, which is fine. Then for the multi-tool, we're gonna go back to our first major upgrade, which would be this guy. And then from here, we never did actually complete this, but let's remove everything from here. You're gonna wanna have a decent amount of storage space before you do any of this, just as a piece of advice. All right, and then the last thing you're gonna wanna do is store any of your upgrades. That way, all of your upgrades on your exosuit, so you don't have to repair all these. See, even with all these spots I've opened up, I'm still running out of space for a bit. Oh yeah, we never even did take off that translator, did we? We'll even remove the B class. There we go. So now we're just gonna have, oh, actually, oh no, we can't. So the refiner you can't remove, the jetpack you can't remove, your shield or your hazard protection you can't remove, life support of course not. This we can get rid of here. Now it's gonna be a bit of a mess to get all this back on, but it also means I don't have to repair it. So now that we've gotten a more basic multi-tool that we're not gonna have trouble repairing, and we've got a basic ship that we're gonna have trouble repairing, let's go ahead and conclude.
Technology recharge. 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 Technology recharge.
Hello, stop moving.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Alright guys, and this is where you make a choice. No Man's Sky has about 256 galaxies in the game. And you literally loop through them if anyone's ever, well, I'm sure somebody has, gone to every single one of them. What we're choosing right now is which one we're gonna go to next. What we're gonna do, this will take us to a normal galaxy. This, I believe, will take us to kind of a dead galaxy with a lot of planets that have nothing on them, which doesn't sound very appealing. This takes us to a lush galaxy. This takes us to kind of an extreme or heavy storm galaxy. This is what we want to pick, for a couple of reasons. This will take us to galaxy number 3. And what that'll do for us is it'll give us access to we're in galaxy number 1 right now. Galaxy number 2 will be accessible to us because we can simply go to the galactic core of 1 and it'll take us to 2. This is actually galaxy number 3, which means we can get to galaxy number 4 by going to the galactic core here. So it gives us access to the first 4 galaxies in No Man's Sky. Plus, I do want to up the ante just a little bit. I want to get to some of the more extreme planets, or at least have things that at least have a higher likelihood of getting those planets. Because that'll kind of push the boundaries a little bit. It'll force us to upgrade our equipment and have to deal with a lot of the hazards right off the bat. So by the time we're done with whatever we're gonna do in this galaxy, we'll be ready for everything else in the game. So let's do this.
Radiation protection falling. Commencing Atlas system suit initialization.
All right, and here we are in a brand new galaxy. This one's gonna be a little bit more extreme. Let's see if I actually have, yeah, here we go. So what we're gonna do now, you're gonna notice all of my components are damaged. And on the starship, everything is damaged. It kind of starts us off right where we started, if that makes any sense. Now, it lets us have the jetpack and our life support and hazard protection. So we have our core systems. This is everything that we had taken off of our multi-tool and our starship. So the very first thing we're gonna do
Radiation protection falling. Radiation protection falling.
is get some shelter.
Shield down.
Oh no, we're gonna be fine. So, our starship, as we take a look, needs some repairs. So we don't have a shield, we're gonna need some mirrors and radiant shards in order to get this fixed, which is fine. For our exosuit, we've got all of our stuff right down here that we're gonna be able to put back into it, and so we're gonna be good to go. All we gotta do is fix our personal refiner, which is fine. The multi-tool is right where we left off, so we're actually in really, really good shape, and you're gonna notice oh, Planet in Distress. This actually triggered the Outpost quests, which we're gonna do later on. But anyway, guys, that will actually conclude Season 1 of No Man's Sky. Season 2 is gonna pick up right from here, right where we left off. We'll head into space.
Radiation protection.
We're gonna look around and see what's nearby. We're gonna try to find a little outpost or a home within this galaxy and get started from there. We're gonna build up our freighter, just do all of the mid-game stuff to get everything completely built up. But again, guys, I appreciate all of the support. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're still here, thank you for watching the entire video. I definitely appreciate it. And if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be absolutely amazing. That will help me build this channel up. It's gonna be about maybe 2 weeks or so before I do another No Man's Sky video, and we'll start Season 2. In between them, I've got a couple other video projects that I'm gonna begin, and you'll start to see that next week. But anyway, as always, thank you for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next time.